Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, the internet has opened up a new world for new age ideas. Tarot cards, astrology, and crystals are now mainstream. But this world of love, light, and enlightenment has a shaky foundation. Here to share her investigation into the modern New Age movement and its self-professed gurus, we welcome the author of Blazing Eye Sees All, investigative journalist Leah Sottile. Good to see you again, Leah.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about the inspiration for this book.
Yeah, actually, it was a little bit of a personal inspiration. You know, we live in Portland. There are crystals and tarot cards on every street corner. Yeah. So I, in 2017, ended up at a New Age bookstore on Northwest 23rd and bought a pair of tarot cards and thought, you know, this is a really interesting world. This is has a really interesting art history behind it. And as I got further into learning about what these were, I wanted to know more about the New Age world I think that they were nestled in. And so I started doing some investigating for my own personal edification. And what I started to find was, you know, excuse me, tarot in itself, I think is, you know, a really wonderful practice, but it's kind of a part of this larger world that's got some really interesting, even pretty iffy ideas behind it. And a lot of people who have claimed personal power for themselves. I think that can be a really good thing when, you know, you meet someone and they say, you know, you've got the power inside you to figure this problem out on your own. But I think also within this New Age world, there have been a history of people who have exploited people looking for answers to personally benefit. So that's, you know, where me, as an investigative journalist, I'm always interested in the ways that power manifests in society. So I started looking at that.
Well, and also are these people who become victims to these cults, are they looking for family too?
I think so. The people that I spoke to for this book, specifically that were involved in a group called Love Has Won, they were, you know, a variety of people, but I think that a lot of them came to the group during COVID and they were, you know, confused, they were scared, they were looking for answers, but they were also looking, for a sense of belonging and to be around like-minded people who were positive and thinking about enlightenment in the same ways that they were.
Talk about this group and their leader.
Yeah, so they were a group that was based in Colorado. It was run by a woman named Amy Carlson. For this group, she called herself Mother God. She believed herself to be the embodiment of the planet itself. So really any offense done to her was an offense done to the planet itself. You know, to you and I, this might sound pretty out there, but there were a lot of people who thought that that was a really interesting idea. She preached a lot of ideas about her being a reincarnated being. She said that she had been Joan of Arc in a past life and Marilyn Monroe and the Queen of Lemuria, which is, you know, a whole story in itself. So she was really at the center of the belief system, and she recruited people to follow her online predominantly and around the world.
That's what really spread her word.
Yeah, that's it. So she was online, she spread her, you know, the word of Mother God, I guess you could say, through Facebook. And
she started out though like working at McDonald's, and I think became a manager, right? Because she took like a leadership course, and then she used that in her cult. How to lead people to the way you want them to go.
Right. Yeah, I think that was what was interesting to me. Was I heard about Mother God at the end of her life. But you know, I wanted to know, how does somebody come to believe this stuff? How does someone come to believe that they are the reincarnated Joan of Arc, and for other people to believe that too? So what I found was that, you know, diving into her backstory, she was a gal who grew up in Texas in the suburbs of Dallas, a really good family. She was a great singer and very attractive woman. You know, her friends and family loved her. Are more shocked than anyone that she would eventually become the leader of this really oddball group. And I was trying to understand what led her to that. And what I could conclude is that she believed herself to be somebody who should have been a celebrity, that she should have been famous. And she couldn't get that through singing, through her career. So she started a group where she was a prophetess, basically, and she was the center of the religion.
So it was about being a celebrity for her.
I think so.
And that having these people worship her, because she would have different men in her life. She'd get bored of them and toss them aside, and the next guy would come along and she'd make him the father.
Father
right?
God, yeah.
Father God. And all these, it seemed like more young people, and a lot of women followed her.
Right, right.
What is that about? Is it, I mean, and also her being the leader, that's a different take than it used to be. Cults were usually led by men.
Yeah. So this was what really kind of compelled me into this project, was to understand that Amy Carlson really was kind of the latest in a long line of female leaders of New Age groups back to the 1850s in America. So yeah, that these groups are, you know, New Age is this wide and disparate belief system, but it's really appealing to women, I think, because so many traditional religious belief systems don't include women in positions of power.
Right.
They dictate how women, you know, are to act and their role and how their bodies are used. But within New Ageism, you can say, well, actually, I have a gift to heal people or to help people. So there's this ability to claim personal power. And Amy was just like many, many other female leaders who came before her, who were basically doing that.
She ended up essentially killing herself because she took colloidal silver, is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
And poisoned herself. And at one point, she tries to ask for help from her cult members to take her to a hospital, but they think, no, that's not what Amy would have really wanted.
Right.
So they didn't take her to a hospital.
Yeah.
She ends up dying. And there's still members of her cult around preaching her gospel.
Right,
so
with her at the center of their belief system. Yeah, I think, you know, it was really sad and sobering to see that towards the end of her life, it's like the illusion broke for her.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it as like, you know, a Dungeons and Dragons game. She was the dungeon master, sort of like dictating the rules of the game for everyone. But when she wanted to stop the game, the people around her didn't let her out of it.
She also changed the rules all along the way, depending on who she liked and who she didn't like, right?
Yeah.
You have a book event tonight at Powell's. Tomorrow, Powell's at 7 o'clock. We're going to put all the information for everyone on our website at K2.com. The book again is called Blazing Eye Sees All. Leah Sottile, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. Great job.